ki khubor ka Batisi TV lawan ra shapi da ka Orange Nissan Loom so pho near Fire Brigade Shillong
ka seng Kongres ka basong hakalyang persya kala banjur ye ka Sorkar jilla bakadaiban Sospon shwa yo Superintendent of Police jong ka East Gentia Hills District Ujakpal Singh Dhanau but yo Superintendent of Police Traffic ka East Khasi Hills District Ushalendra Bamania khnang bakajingto kit kan long ka bakhoy bat ka bashay hakajing yakren bat kilat pathai khubor unong elam jong kalyang persya Dr. Mukul Sangma uloong baka Kongres kan Ïaiban ya ka Sorkar jilla bakan thung de independent inquiry ka bantokit halor ka jingyap jong nongelam barim ka seng hanyo trap National Liberation Council uba cherry starfield thank you ha ka jinglet khanra jong ki pulit ye ka yeng sa jong u ha ka step phrangap jong ka khatlai tari ku bunai nailar arajar arpuwei ha maulai kanton masar u Dr. Mukul Sangma uloong baka seng Kongres hi nado kabasdang ka yang bai halor gani ka nongrim bandawa de independent inquiry halor gani ka jingjia khnang baka jingto kit kan long ka bakhoj bad banam don manu manuru bala bantuklar.
We have demanded an independent judicial inquiry and I believe the people have similar demand. In fact, the demand has always revolved around an inquiry which we refer to as independent. I repeat, independent. Okay. Now, in the present circumstance, under the the narrative which has been generated over the last few days, please understand one thing: the very different circumstances involving this particular incident. You are talking about an allegation of fact encounter. Okay, fact encounter by the police. Therefore, the inquiry, if it has to be independent, it has to be really independent. How will you make it independent? How will you ensure that it is independent? Now, if the allegations revolve around the top officials, will you expect the inquiry to be independent? If the top officers against whom the allegations are directed are still in office, that is how one has to look at. That is how the government has to look at if the inquiry has to be independent. Okay, I am talking inconsistent with the provisions of law and on the expected line as to how the authorities will have to act to ensure if the inquiry has to be independent, completely insulated from any external pressure, because you will have number of police personnel of lower rank who will have to be questioned. Now, will they be really free to speak and share the truth? All those things are required to be understood. Therefore, I would confine my submission before all of you, but I think this sends enough message. Precisely, the further legal action should be taken once the inquiry is completed. But even before having that inquiry report, to ensure that the whole process of inquiry is completely independent, or in other words, is not subjected to any external influence. How do you ensure that? Because the inquiry pertaining to this instant case revolves around the police personnel. Now, police personnel of different ranks, all those police personnel are expected to be questioned if one has to unearth the truth. And therefore, it is only the common sense which tells us that will the junior or the subordinates in the police organization will dare to give any statement which will be inconsistent with the fact or inconsistent with the truth. Therefore, the case is very different here. One has to understand from that angle, and therefore if one is honest to ensure an independent inquiry, then one must know how it should be done.